Hey guys, this is Kashif here from KR Graphics, and today I want to do a quick video tutorial or demonstration on creating polygroups using the ZRemesher curves in ZBrush. Now, after last night, I sat down and thought about how to do this. So I'm going to show you a model I made last night using exactly that method. It took a little trial and error to get it like this. You know, with the clean cuts in the model, and it cuts around the hand there. And typically, what I typically do, you know, usual workflow is you pick your model and you make a mask out of it, cut that mask out, and paint a mask of that shape you want. But I found that using ZRemesher curves is a lot better for this technique. So if I go to my polyframe on, sorry, it's a little dense. I've been working on it all night. For another project I'm working on. You'll see that the curves are very clean in this particular instance. It took me about a couple tries to get the curvature I wanted out of it. So I'm going to show you quickly how I managed to achieve all this. The clean edges on the model and the very smooth work here. And typically I use masks, but I think masks are, while they're nice, they don't produce the same cleanliness I'm looking for in my models for polygroups. This stuff is great for doing things like gloves, complex clothing patterns, or and the like. And for the case of this glove, I couldn't do it in Marvelous Designer, so I decided to do it this way. I may also try this technique for things like boots in the future. You know, creating the little panels for boots and details. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and open up a polysphere. It doesn't work for anything, but a polysphere is perfect for demonstration purposes. Now, what you want to do on your model. So let's say you have your model and you did a mask extraction on it, right? You want to divide it a few times, you know, just to give it enough resolution. I think, yeah, 130 is enough. Okay. And right now it's really pretty cool, pretty good right now to use. So I'll delete the subdivision levels, and I'll go ahead and draw some curves on ZRemesher. So we go to ZRemesher. What you want to do is you want to draw a curve on here. So let's say we want to draw, I don't know, a very curvy line here. You know, you basically want to make sure that when you draw your line on here, oops. You want to make sure that the curve is closed. This is very important that the curve is closed. Otherwise, you know, you won't get the effect of paneling much easier here. And also, the caveat to this workflow is you unfortunately cannot have any subdivision levels. So let's go ahead now and we'll do this mask real quick. So I go ahead and hit ZRemesher right now. The button on this is going to go ahead and create the curve like normal. The topology in this area right here will be created. So if it's all done correctly, okay. So it now created a little line here based on my polygon flow. However, I want a shape out of this little curve here, you know, like a cookie cutter. And I'll do another one just because it's so enjoyable. I'll do another one. Okay, so what I usually do is for this is I take my the curve strength, set it to 100, and it's kind of why I want to make sure we have enough resolution on our model to do all this. So I go ahead and hit ZRemesher again. You know, and again, like I mentioned, this is basically, you know, a lot of trial and error in this one. Okay, so give a minute to calculate. And if it all goes right, it'll create a polygroup for you. Boom. So if I set this to 100, you now have polygroups in place of those curves. Now I'll do, and for demonstration purposes, now we have three polygroups. I'll show you what happens if we draw on the ship right now. Okay, I'll put like a little butterfly here or something. Like that. You go ahead and now you hit it again, ZRemesher again, with the new curve added, you might notice something happens. Now, through my experimentation, I've tried to like do try to get the groups in place. Let's see what happens. Give it a second here. So yeah, so basically you lose your polygroups, and that's something we don't want. You don't want. I could also try keep groups and hit that button again. And we'll see what happens there. Let's give it a second here to calculate. And also, so that basically, of course, we also, by hitting the button keep groups, it'll actually keep the groups here and draw a new shape there. Now I'm gonna go back a little bit and try another way. So unfortunately, if I do keep groups, the resolution won't be as even. So let's turn off keep groups, turn off half, and basically I wanted the same polygon count for everything. Keep you at 50 for now. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna go to my stroke palette and hit the modifiers. Not modifiers. Hit curve functions. You want to hit frame mesh, and what we'll do is it'll create the ZRemesher curves on the polygroups you have here. And now I'm gonna add another one. I'm gonna add like maybe a circle, and a nice big wavy box or something. Now, of course, this method is a little trial and error, but I managed to get this working. So I'll hit ZRemesher curves. It's important to keep it at, I think I kept the depth size at 50, and curve turns on 100. So by doing this, we're going to see what happens in this case with this one. So with these curves here, so now we have 5 polygroups, including the sphere shell. So this is really good when you do things like boots, and you want to create very clean patterns where you for complex surfaces like armor. Well, like armor or like organic shapes like boots. My usual workflow for boots is I create a base shape and then I create masks out of it. But I think using the ZRemesher curves is important to do it clean. And I'll do one more here with the same method and show you what happens when you use a segmented curve. That's one thing that's one thing I tried last night and it didn't work very well for me. I'll do a quick little curve like this in the box so that it'll connect together. Okay, throw off all the 4 corners, and then I'll go ZRemesher in this as well. And if it all works right, it should make a square in this box right here. This is fantastic if you want the very hard corners of your model to be like a square, like armor. And there you have it. So even with curves that are open, we're able to create like squares and triangles and complex shapes. In fact, I'll do a triangle. Let's do a triangle. I had a great time with this last night and I want to keep doing it. And notice how the polygon count, all it changes, the same the mesh is still the same kind of density. So I'll go like this, draw a line, draw a triangle like this, and then hit ZRemesher. Basically, you could do this for all your models, including okay, let's go like this, and bam, I create a triangle on this one. So as long as you frame your existing polygroups and draw your ZRemesher curves on there, you can have as many shapes as you want on this. This works for gloves, for boots, or any kind of object that you want something complex on, even a complex pattern. So without further ado, I want to thank you for taking the time to see this rather brief tutorial, and I hope to see you again soon. Happy arting.